Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Musical Life Podcast. I'm Julie Chambers, founder of Chambers Music Studio in Columbus, Ohio, where our mission is simple: saving the world through music education. Today, I want to talk about something that comes up every year as summer approaches: vacations. Families travel, schedules change, and many people assume that music lessons or practice should pause during that time. But what if music is actually one of those best things you can bring with you when you travel? Today, we're going to talk about why music can actually help your brain and body adjust to travel, and why staying connected to music, even in small ways, can make vacations better. The common assumption: we'll pause music for the summer. Just pause. Many families think of summer as or travel as a time to hit pause on structured activities. You might hear things like, we'll start lessons again in the fall, we're traveling a lot in summer, practice just won't happen. And honestly, that instinct makes sense. Vacations are meant to feel flexible and spontaneous. But what many people discover is that music is actually one of those things that helps children and adults stay grounded when routines change. Instead of being something that interrupts vacation, music can actually support it. Music helps the brain adjust to travel. One of the biggest challenges when we travel, especially across time zones, is jet lag and disrupted routines, especially with those kids. Try taking some toddlers across the country or the world and see what kind of routines actually stay. Your internal clock, called your circadian rhythm, gets thrown off. That can make people feel foggy, emotionally drained, tired at the wrong times of day. Music helps counteract that. Neuroscience research shows that music activates many areas of the brain at once, including areas related to movement, timing, memory, and emotion. When you practice music, even briefly, your brain gets a kind of neural wake-up call. It stimulates focus, coordination, and mood. Even a short practice session can increase dopamine, which helps with alertness and motivation. So that 10 minutes of playing your instrument on vacation is actually helping your brain rest and reset. Daily musical routines help reset the body clock. Another interesting thing about music is rhythm. When you practice at roughly the same time each day, even if it's just 10 minutes, maybe 15, maybe 5, it creates a consistent rhythm for your body. Think about it like brushing your teeth or eating meals. These routines send signals to your brain about the structure of the day. Studies even suggest music can influence things like melatonin production, which helps regulate sleep cycles. So practicing music while traveling can actually help your body adjust faster to new schedules and environments. Travel is fun, but also it's stressful. Vacations are exciting, but they're also surprisingly stressful. Think about what happens during travel: new environments, crowds, long days, missed sleep, overstimulation. For children especially, this can be overwhelming. Music is one of those powerful tools we have for emotional regulation. Research shows that playing or listening to music reduces cortisol, the body's main stress hormone, and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps the body relax. So when a kid sits down to play something familiar, even a scale or a simple song, it can create a moment of calm and stability in an otherwise chaotic day. Music keeps the brain active without screens. Another big challenge during travel is screen time. Airports, long car rides, hotel downtime. Screens often become the default. But music offers something very different. Instead of passive entertainment, music engages working memory, executive function, motor coordination, focus. Even a few minutes of playing an instrument engages the brain far more deeply than scrolling on a device. And the best part is that music can travel with you in many different ways. And when I talk about screen time here too, I want to mention that we're referring to mindless screen time. We're referring to just doom scrolling or watching 8 hours of YouTube Kids. I'm not referring to using screen when it comes to, say, Lexia or an assessment tool for education. I'm referring more to the mindless screen time. Easy ways to bring music on vacation. If bringing an instrument isn't practical, there are still many ways to stay musically engaged. For example, you could bring a portable keyboard, maybe foldable, a ukulele, a travel guitar. Flute's for sure easy to travel with. You can do things that don't require instruments at all. You could do vocal warm-ups, solfege exercises, I know you're thinking, what's that? If you've seen The Sound of Music, Do a Deer, Arraign, Do a Deer, Ray, A Drop of Golden Sun, that is Solfège, and that is how we teach ourselves to read music. But if you're taking lessons, you're probably already learning these, especially in voice lessons. You could do rhythm games, you could do clapping patterns. Even mental practice, listening to a recording and imagining playing it has real cognitive benefits. Music doesn't always require a full setup. Sometimes it's simply about staying connected to the musical mindset. I wanted to mention this. This is in Music in the Mind by Renee Fleming. She's written several books and done a lot of music research, and she's an opera singer. She actually had a brain scan done while she was singing and while she was imagining singing, as well as listening. And when she was imagining singing, so she was picturing the song in her mind and imagining that she was performing it without actually doing the sound, her brain was more lit up than when she was actually practicing. I know, that right there, this is science, guys. That is mind-blowing. This set means you could bring your music with you, or if you already have your music memorized, without bringing an instrument. You could sit down and mentally visualize yourself playing and imagine the notes, the fingers. You could ghost play. Some people call it air guitar. And your brain will get more benefits than actually playing. I know. That seems wild, right? But it's a very powerful tool because that is a skill you can use throughout your life. Visualizing, manifestation, manifesting your goals. That's a common practice for a lot of people with goal-oriented people. So I just wanted to mention that. Staying connected to lessons. Another great option while traveling is online lessons. Technology has made it incredibly easy to stay connected to teachers no matter where you are. Students can enjoy lessons from a grandparent's house, a hotel, an Airbnb, even the beach. I will tell you, especially in COVID, we had a lot of students. We were all online back then, but we had a lot of students that were just saying, "Hey, we actually went to visit grandma. We're staying at grandma's house for a month, and we're gonna have our lessons here." And then even after COVID, there's been a lot of families that have done that, where they're just switched to online for that 1 week because keep the practice in, and they want to go stay somewhere for a month. And the beach, I will tell you, I had a professor that told me she was on vacation on the beach. She got a call with very little notice for a leading role in an opera, and I'm probably messing up the story, but she was going to get back from her vacation just in time to actually do the dress rehearsal and then do the show. So she learned the entire opera on the beach. She didn't have a piano. She visualized the music in her mind. But you could also just bring your flute on the beach and play, or your ukulele, and get some sand. Hey, it'll be great. Keeping lessons consistent helps students maintain your skills, avoid the relearning curve when they return, and stay connected to their creativity. And I want to emphasize the relearning curve because every time in my experience we've had someone take a break from lessons for a couple months over the summer or even during the school year, when they come back, they actually themselves are frustrated because they can't do what they used to be able to do. So the relearning curve is very real, and in music it's even more so than in the regular classroom. And I think that's largely because in the regular classroom over the summer you will not have your regular education, right? You won't be doing math and English and all of that. But you are generally conversing with people on a regular basis. You're probably still reading over the summer, maybe not, but most people do the summer reading challenge. And there might be some like math activities, but there's just a little bit more of what you're doing in a regular classroom in everyday life naturally occurring. But in your everyday life, there's not really music just occurring in everyday life unless you have a musical family or you make it happen. So there's a much larger relearning curve than in the classroom. But the biggest, most important reason for keeping up with lessons is it helps students stay connected to their musical identity. Like, identifying as a musician makes a huge difference for people when they're on their path. Because music does have times when it can be difficult and you have to overcome some obstacles. And identifying as a musician and understanding how you can be a musician and be yourself and how it's intertwined and how being a musician can be a presentation of who you are makes a huge difference long term. And you want to stay connected to that for your emotional stability. One thing we talk a lot about at Chambers Music Studio is life at Chambers. Because music isn't just something students do once a week, it becomes part of who they are. When students stay connected to music, even during busy seasons or vacations, they start to see themselves as musicians. And once everyone sees themselves that way, music becomes something they can carry with them wherever they go. So, if you're planning travel this year, here's something to consider. Instead of leaving music behind, bring it with you. A few minutes of music each day can help your brain stay sharp, help your body adjust, and help your family stay connected to creativity and joy. Music can become your travel companion. And if you're part of Chambers Music Studio community, we look forward to continuing that musical journey with you, wherever summer takes you. Thanks for listening, and if you're not part of the Chambers Music Studio community, we'd love to welcome you and show you what life at Chambers is all about.